Bill Belichick officially being hired by North Carolina may have revealed some details about what the Chicago Bears are looking for in their head coaching search. At least that's what some writers will have you believe. We're going to take a look at that. Plus, we're going to look at some other things around the Chicago Bears. Plus, dive into the mailbag as it is Friday. We're going to get to all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go and get into this content for today, y'all. I want to start off talking about this. So Bill Belichick was officially hired by UNC, and we all kind of understood this. Now, one thing that came out yesterday about how it reflects the Bears, it said this. According to sources with direct knowledge, the group deemed that Chicago Bears were probably the most attractive job for Bill Belichick, but that team brass was unlikely to consider Belichick. The group expects the same thing that most around the league do, that the Bears will go offense, hoping to give quarterback Caleb Williams a chance at a career, probably targeting offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. So that is, we keep hearing, the names keep coming up, right? At this point, it's the same names. And I would actually be really interested to see if the Bears do hire, the names that have been popping up, Mike Vrabel, Cliff Kingsbury, Ben Johnson, of course, Brian Flores were some of the names, Joe Brady was some of the names that are brought up. But when you really go back to it, the main ones that have come up have been Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, and then maybe Cliff Kingsbury as the third one there. It's back and forth between, him and the other guys. But I would really I want to see how the Chicago Bears media and how these rumors and these analysts would rebound if it ends up being somebody who's not Ben Johnson, right? That's what it keeps coming down to. Now, I do get it that Ben Johnson is going to be probably the hottest name out in the open market when it comes to open coaching spots, head coaching spots, and that's what it is. And hearing the fact that most of the league expects the Bears to go the young offensive coordinator route, we'll see there, right? We've heard something directly different yesterday in regards to Mike Vrabel, right? So I think it just comes down to this, man. I don't think people know what the fuck the Bears are doing. That's what I take from this. When you hear from so many different places, depending on what corners you're listening to, and it goes to that, people are saying, no, this guy's the front runner, where actually they could be going after a guy like this. Like, how do you go from yesterday's report saying that the Bears want to prioritize a leader of men and they think that may not be Ben Johnson, to today a different one saying, no, well, everybody thinks that they're circling Ben. That tells me one thing. Nobody knows. And you know what? Nobody should know, right? Listen, if the Bears were to go in and hire Ben Johnson, I'm not saying that necessarily makes it a bad thing. I've said it before. I've made my case for all the candidates that we've heard about, the good, the bad there. So I understand all of that. But I think ultimately, if the Bears are just, let's say, they do their coaching search a week later, they hire Ben Johnson. I'm not going to lie to you. The questions that I would then have is that, how much of a search did you actually do? Or did you just go with what the hot name is? And that's not what I want the Bears to do. Now, it's a possibility that Ben Johnson is the right guy. I'm not saying that he's not. But it's just what all this shit from – and that's one thing that I report on everything, right, because I want to make sure that we are that number one spot to where you can get all your Bears information at. But in doing that and reporting on everything and taking a look at everything, I start my morning off at 5 a.m. every single day. You know what I do? At 5 a.m. every day, I go through every Chicago Bulls and Bears blog, report from ESPN all the way down to The Athletic, everything in between. I look at everything. Hell, there's a damn Bears blog that I don't even know the name of. Things like Untapped Bears or some shit like that I look at, and I'm like, hey, I just try to get all the information so that I can be really informed for these podcasts and bring everything that you want. But I'm tired of this coaching shit. We got 4 games left. 4 games that we got left, I'm over it. I'm really over it. Listen, we got a whole nother month of all this speculation, and then that's not even true because it's going to lead into the offseason. It's going to keep being talked about, and we're going to see so many names come in and out of the talk and the conversation. And listen, I'm going to continue to cover it at least a little bit to a varying degree, but at this point, it's just to me, what this screams is that nobody knows what the hell the Bears are doing. Hell, we got a report yesterday that said, hey, maybe Ryan Poles isn't as safe as his job after earlier in the week us hearing that, hey, he's not a threat to lose his job. Hey, it's so much. Everybody right now, and this is what I said, this is the same shit that was leading into the Caleb Williams and Justin Fields decision, right? If the Bears are going to trade Justin, are they going to draft Caleb, or are they not, whatever it is, every day it's a different report. And it's because these outlets, now that it is a national media coverage thing, they don't give a shit about Bears. They don't give a shit about Bears fans. They don't care about this team. They don't really care if the Bears are successful or not. They're chasing the story, right? And this is the thing this is why I always say, don't let the media reports become your opinion. Just don't do it, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Their opinion varies from day to day. You can wake up and it can go from Mike Vrabel being the favorite to goddamn next thing you know, it'll be Brian Flores, right? You just never know. And so that's why I always look at these things and I say, hey, take them with a grain of salt. Take the information, use the information to form your own opinion and stuff. But let's not, like, I see so many people where it's like in the comment sections like, oh, it's Ben Johnson or bust. How? Have you sat down and interviewed Ben Johnson? Have you sat down and watched every line? And I know you haven't, because you haven't even watched every Bears game, because you sit there and you say wrong things that happen in games all the time. I know I'm being a little bit direct, and they'll know who I'm talking about, but it's just that thing. And I know this has been a week of me coming at stupid shit for a while, but it really just, hey, it's all up and down. It's all up and down, and it just makes this franchise that's already dysfunctional. I want to be clear. The true dysfunction starts with the Bears front office, right? Everything fans do is what fans are going to happen. You're going to have your pocket of fans that are crazy and fanatics. You're going to have your pockets of fans that like to stay more informed and have actual conversations. You're going to have your pocket of fans that are just special children. And so between those, you're always like, everything is going to, but that's what the media right now is kind of trying to get into, right? They're trying to get the clicks because they know that right now it's the hot story around. They did the same thing this offseason with Justin Fields and Caleb Williams. They're doing the same thing now. It's a repeating cycle. And it just, at some point, you just got to realize and look at these media outlets and just say, y'all fucking stupid. I hate the national media. This is why, listen, just another year, Chicago, the Windy City Breeze, Keek on the mic. These are guys that I really rock with. Of course, Swifty. And, we got mad love for Swifty here, Coach T, people that are actually invested and care about the Bears and that will talk. Doesn't mean I always agree with them. I want to be clear here. I don't always blindly agree with any of these guys, but I do respect the fact that I know for 100% fact that they care about the Bears first. They don't care about the story, right? They care about the Bears first. And, that's not to necessarily push the grassroots media is what I like to call them, because that's what it is. We digging in and doing all this shit by the spirit of us just loving the Chicago Bears team. That's why we do this, right? But it's just the national media will just have you believe in some shit that really is really just their speculation. Really, some of these writers wake up and they be like, hey, you know who would be really good for the Bears? I think Mike Vrabel will be the best candidate for the Bears. I believe the Bears feel that way as well. Let me go write this story. That's what a lot of them do. That's why, listen, there are a lot of writers out there that also have integrity. I'm not coming at every single Bears fan, because there are a lot that do have integrity in the way that they cover this team. Alyssa Barbaria, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She's a really good one. I love her writing. She actually cares about this team. She's invested in this team. But a lot of these other motherfuckers is just stupid. They're really just stupid. And I'm tired of stupid people. That's really what it comes down to. I hate stupid people. But nonetheless, that's me. That's my hard horse on today. Before we get out of it today as well, let's talk about the injury report for the Chicago Bears. So Ryan Bates, Josh Blackwell, Javon Dexter, Roshan Johnson, DeAndre Swift all did not participate in practice, leaving, of course, their questions. But we had that last week as well. I think, DeAndre Swift's probably going to play. Javon Dexter's probably going to play. Roshan, with that concussion, probably not going to play when it comes down to it. But what are the Bears really fighting for the remainder of the season? Pride. That's really what it comes down to. Pride and giving something for your fans that have invested in you and watched you this whole season. That's really what it comes down to. Let's hope that the Bears continue to do that. And I'm really excited about this game for the sense that I'm just excited to watch Bears football. We play on Monday night, which is going to be already a different feel when it comes down to it for this team. And we'll see how things continue to go and develop for this team, man. But hey, the Cole Kmet has already said that this Bears roster is playing, and they're not playing for better draft picks. And that's something that I love to hear from this team. Let's not try to tank. Let's not try to bottom out, right? Let's go out there and compete because there's fans that are paying money to see you. There are fans that are investing time to see you. And I want to see my team go out there and try to win every game. Doesn't mean that they will, but I love that Cole Kmet came out and said that none of us in here are playing for a draft pick because I think some Bears fans got it twisted and confused. But all right, let's go ahead and get into the mailbag today, which is the most important about Friday episodes. This one's from Fred.
Hey, what up, man? It's your boy Fred, man. Just called checking in with you guys, man. And just looking at, the Bears season going down the drain again, a garbage season, man. With, pieces that we added. Yeah, I know we were still, missing some pieces, you know what I'm saying? But to me, I felt like this team could have played much more better. But that come with when you don't have the right coaches and, the right coordinator. So hopefully the Bears will finally get this shit together and learn to understand that if you want to win in this league, you have to spend money. That's the only way how you're going to be good. If you want to win, the Bears have to stop being cheap. Now, I don't know what's going on with Ryan Poles getting his feelings about that Kevin Warren started getting involved. Well, Kevin Warren won't have to get involved if you was doing your job and if you did it right. Most presidents don't have to get involved with their GMs if they GMs, doing their job right. So Ryan Poles needs to just stop crying, acting like the P word, you know what I mean by the P word, and just get this damn team right. If not, then you can go ahead and resign. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, us Bears fans, we didn't have it. We didn't have it with this losing after losing and after losing after losing. I know I'm tired. It made me at the point sometimes be like, I don't even want to watch the Bears. I haven't even bought no Bears gear, man. And that's sad. Normally, I always buy Bears gear. I haven't even bought no Bulls gear because they've been trash as well. I haven't bought no White Sox gear since the last time I bought my Bo Jackson White Sox jersey. So it's just like, when are the Bears going to take their head from their asses and get up to par and get to winning? Because Ryan Poles, you can't sit here and talk about taking the North and never giving it back when you haven't even shown that you was trying to win the North at all. And he said out his own mouth during the offseason at a press conference that this is the year that we're supposed to make the playoffs. Like, come on. And then you got dumbass George McCaskey who sabotaged his team for going to the playoffs. They should have let them fire Eberflus after that Patriots game. I just don't get it with this organization, man. Like, come on, man. Y'all can't keep feeding us fans, half-ass, bullshit that we supposed to be accepting and be okay with this, and we not, man. But let me know what you think, big dog. Chicago up, Bear all the way down, man.
Another losing season guaranteed for the Bears. And here's the thing. I would love to say that the Bears are going to get their shit together. But, Fred, here comes down to the thing. I don't know. And that's why I said they're going to have to show me. Now, as far as Kevin Warren, here's the thing. I don't think we know a lot of what CEOs do around the league because I think most of that is kept in-house, right? Because, again, I think people have mistaken even my words in that video. It's not to say that Kevin Warren needs to come in here and make all the decisions, but he does need to come in here as a CEO and just oversee things, meaning that, hey, Poles, how are we on that coaching search? Who are you looking at? Right? Like, oh, yeah, that guy's good. Yeah, I've talked to this guy before. Yeah, okay, cool. Like, that's all that could really be. Right. And I think a lot of the CEOs and executives around the NFL do that. The problem is that the Bears are a dysfunctional bunch of people. And it is what it is. And so I think that's what it's coming down to. But you're 100% right in the fact this was supposed to be the year that I say we were contending for a playoff spot, that we should be right now talking about the Bears being in the hunt for the playoffs. And while you still see some graphics that say that we don't have a really great chance, but that's what we wanted to see out of the season. Now, this is up to this team to go out and do the moves that are necessary to get us there for next season. And let's hope that they can do it. All right, let's get into the next voicemail, man. This one's from Sterling.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, fellas? God bless. God keep. Bear down. Hey, my name is Sterling Sanders, and just out here driving. I listen to you guys' show, especially Haize, on a regular basis. To all you guys, man, I just wanted to say thank you for being open, honest, and candid, and at the same time showing some type of professionalism with the show. I know sometimes putting yourself on a public platform can be kind of daunting at sometimes, but being vulnerable with your feelings about a franchise that we all love can be kind of, kind of shaky. Like, do I really want to put this out there? Or do I really want to put that out there? Do I really want to put how I truly feel out there? And I'm glad that you guys do. It's refreshing. I appreciate you guys. Keep putting out that great content. God bless. God keep. Y'all brothers keep doing y'all thing, man. I'm very proud of you guys, man. Hey, keep doing your thing, young brother.
Appreciate the kind words, man. I appreciate you so much on this. Like, here's what I'll say. It's not as hard as that you think, because we do this because we're legitimately Bears fans. And like I said before, I can't do anything, especially every day, because that's what we do this at, right? The only day I have off on this show is Saturdays, and that's because C-Dub and Bobby handle the mailbag on Saturdays, right? But we do this every day because, it's enjoyable, and we get to genuinely be us. That's the thing in all this. And I think that's what makes this easy to do, is that I already would be talking about the Bears every day because I've been a Bears fan my whole life. But then on top of that, I love doing this. Like, I get to genuinely be me. So when you see me going off, that's me. And if that stops us from growth a little, and I think it has, I'll admit this podcast would be way bigger if I didn't curse and go off and call people dumb assholes. We'd probably be closer to 20,000 subscribers by now. But you know what? It wouldn't feel genuine to me being me. And that's the thing. Everybody on the show that you see, C-Dub, Bobby, Kev, Steve, everybody is their legitimate selves. And I hope that really resonates with a lot of people that support us, because that's who we are going to be. We are always going to be us. For better or for worse, we're always going to be who we're going to be. And if you got a problem with that, you can go over somewhere else. That just is what it is. And that's no disrespect in that. But we're going to be us here, and we appreciate people like you who appreciate us rocking out and just being us. All right, let's get into the next one. This one's from Darius.
What's going on, guys? Darius from Dallas, man. I just had a thought. I've been doing a lot of deep thinking, man, on this Ben Johnson guy. And I've come to the conclusion that I don't want us to give him a shot. And here's why. Let's think about it for a second, guys. He's just another Matt Nagy. And I know that might be kind of low-hanging fruit, so let me explain. All right. Ben Johnson's offense, I think it's good more so because Dan Campbell has that team united and playing together. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Dan Campbell can do that with another offensive coordinator. Why? Because he's coaching at an elite level. He's bringing these guys together. He's coaching and instilling discipline on both sides of the ball. These guys are inspired to play for Dan Campbell, not Ben Johnson. All right, now let's go back when Nagy was over there with Andy Reid. That team was great because of Andy Reid, okay? Now, technically at the time, was Matt Nagy calling the plays on offense? Yeah, sure, you betcha. But that team played great because of Andy Reid. That team didn't play great because of Nagy, okay? And as you see, when Nagy left, the Chiefs, and I think what will happen is the same thing with Ben Johnson. I think when he leaves, the Detroit Lions ain't going to all of a sudden take some regression. No, they're going to get another offensive coordinator in there, learn a new scheme, and because they are a good team and have a great coach, they're still going to keep on moving. So I don't want to get another guy in here, man, that has been boosted up based off of his head coach's success, not his own. You know what I mean? And that's what Ben Johnson is. And regardless of what y'all say, we don't have Dan Campbell inspiring our players. We don't have Dan Campbell, sitting there, in the meetings with these guys and making sure that they pay. We don't have that. We getting Ben Johnson. He's just another Matt Nagy, man. And I just don't want to go through this anymore. So I mean, I'm almost to the point where I'm like, fuck it, give me Mike Vrabel before you give me Ben Johnson. I don't want another guy in here that is only successful because his head coach is successful. Give me a guy who has shown that he can coach a team. Otherwise, man, we just going through the same Bears cycle all over again. And my question is, when is that shit finally going to stop? When are we going to stop buying in to the hype of an offensive coordinator coming into every single season? When are we going to stop doing that? If we want change, that's where it's going to have to start, man.
Listen, Ben Johnson's nothing like Matt Nagy. I think I get what you're getting at as far as the themes of it, right? Like, as far as Ben Johnson not necessarily being that leader of men, that Mike Vrabel is clearly the leader of that team, but it's not the same. Like, that it's not the same. Saying that Ben Johnson is only successful because of the head coach, I think that's just wrong. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that. I think that he is a really dynamic play caller. I think he does have a very good offensive mind. Now, I'm not saying that means he would be a good head coach, but But I just think saying that he's only successful because of the head coach that's there, I just don't agree with that thinking. I understand you're right to have your opinion. I'm not trying to take that away from you. But to compare that to Matt Nagy, I think it's a bit too much of an overcorrection. Now, I do think that the legitimate concerns about him being a leader of men, how good he's going to be as a head coach, and those are going to be there until he actually does it as a head coach. That's for everybody, right? And I'll even say this, even people that were successful prior as a head coach, it doesn't mean last year's success is going to be next year's success, right, for coaches. So it's always an ebb and flow in how things go. But I'm not going to say that, because this is what I'll say, and this is my rebuttal to that. One could say that you don't necessarily know how good an offensive coordinator is if they don't have a good head coach, because you could have a good offensive coordinator that's on a team, but they're good, but because the head coach is a fucking idiot, that you will never know really how good that offensive coordinator is as an offensive coordinator. So I don't agree with knocking an offensive coordinator just because he coaches on the staff of a damn good head coach. But I can't say that Ben Johnson is only successful because of the head coach there in Detroit. But it is up to Ben Johnson to prove that he can be successful as a head coach, which is a different conversation, and we'll see where that leads him and the Chicago Bears. All right, let's get into the next voicemail. This one's from Donovan.
Oh, Haize, what's going on, team? It's your boy Donovan, man. I was just agreeing with you, just as far as like this coaching search. Obviously, it's crucial. It's one of the two crucial mistakes that Ryan Poles has made, and it's not number two. The first one is the O-line, because you know our quarterback has been sacked about 50-something times, and this ain't the first time this happened. But we'll get to that in a second. But the other one is the coach. As much as Matt Eberflus's firing doesn't seem to help, especially with Eric Washington calling plays, he's a glorified D-line coach. The toll was already done. The damage was already done. So I'm just sitting here like, okay, we got to restart. So that coaching hiring is definitely one wrong he has to right immediately. And when you look at everything in totality, everybody's like, oh, he didn't build this team right. You got to do it like Detroit. Man, Detroit had made their new GM, I forgot his name, he made one pick on the offensive line. That was fucking it in the first round. Everybody else was already there. You can't fucking say that. So it's not as black and white as people make it seem. And then you look at what Ryan Poles inherited. The reason the last 2 to 3 years have been fucking madness is because it was madness before. It was just so fucking obvious. We've never had anyone good at a position of GM at Ryan Pace. And honestly, he was cleaning shit from Ryan Pace's fucking tenure. Ryan Pace made a couple good draft picks, Roquan Smith, Leonard Floyd, but he also never picked the O-lineman in the first round. That takes a toll on a team who doesn't have a good O-line. As soon as Ryan Poles got a first-round pick, who did he choose? Because he didn't have one in 22. He had to fix the damn god-awful defense. Everybody was mad at him for trading all the players that Ryan Pace overpaid away. How else you think he was going to rebuild the thing? So this is all I'm saying is he's done a lot of things right. It's just the two things that he didn't get quite right was the most crucial. So it looks very bad. Chicago up, Bear down.
Yes, this coaching search is 100% crucial to the Chicago Bears' future. It just is. It's crucial to who this Bears team can be going forward, and it's how much we can get over the hump. And so I think what it is, and all fans are experts when they think when the team's struggling, they always think that they have the answers. That's always is what it is. They always are going to think that. So Ryan Poles, I love the mindset that you have. Ryan Poles did absolutely inherit a mess. He did. You just can't overlook the fact that he inherited a mess. That does not mean that he didn't make mistakes. And I love that you also call that out in your voicemail, because he has made mistakes. I hate to tell this to everybody. Every GM is going to make mistakes. No matter who the Bears bring in ever, they're going to have that GM is going to miss on a draft pick. That GM is going to miss on a trade. That GM is going to miss on a signing. It's going to happen to every single franchise. Now, the good franchises and the good GMs, when they do make a bad signing, they learn from it. Or at some point, you reach a point with your team that, hey, if you do make a bad signing, you still have a solid enough team to where your team's still doing good. Now you just got to go back to the drawing board on that, whatever that decision was. And we got to see, this is going to be Ryan Poles' first time being here at the start of the head coaching search. The entire process, he gets to see that through. And therefore, all the blame goes on him. And I still put a lot of the blame of Matt Eberflus on him. But it all comes down to him. And in a contract year as well for Ryan Poles, it's up to him to show what he can bring. And so, yeah, this coaching decision is hugely crucial to the present and the future of the Chicago Bears, and let's hope that they can get it right. But great voicemail there, Donovan. I appreciate that. Let's get into this next one. This one's from Ant.
Yo, what up, fellas? It's your boy Ant. I was just listening to Haize Daily, about the whiny grown men, and I agree 100%. I'm tired of people just having the phone and they feel like they got a platform to complain about everything that's going on without having informed, educated, decisions or criticism. You know what I mean? Like, I can criticize anybody about anything, anywhere, anytime. Don't make it a good take. You know what I mean? Like, Ryan Poles did some bad things in his job. Cool, everybody do bad things in their job. What's the good things that he did? If I go up here and say, like, oh, man, he had Eberflus and Nate Davis and then the Chase Claypool, he just bad at his job. That's a horrible take because now I'm not adding in the fact that he fixed the salary cap, that he got us draft picks back, that he got DJ Moore in here, that he got us Caleb Williams in here, Tyree Stevenson, all these other good, roster pieces. He got Thomas Brown in here. It'd be wrong of me to sit here and say all those things, right? Because I can't sit there and say he did wrong and not say he did right. That's a good criticism. I'm tired of whiny people, man. Grow the hell up. I see if you was 18, 19 and just now trying to figure out what football really is and what job is and workplace and stuff like that. But, man, you supposed to be grown-ass men that's supposed to been working for almost half your life. Like, how are you sitting there complaining about somebody else in their job? You probably fucking up in your job. My bad about the language, but you probably failing in your job. You know what I'm saying? Like, grow up. Be real adults for once. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I love this team. This team is the greatest team in the NFL to me, but don't mean that they the best team in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will grow. I'll die on the hill that I'm a Bears fan. I don't care. But when they doing good, I'm going to call out the good, but at the same time, I'm going to say, hey, they could have did this better, but I'm glad we got that W. That's being a fan, a true fan. Like, I love y'all mailbag days because the mailbag days bring out the true fans, not the whiny, complaining ones. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's going to come up there and tell it like it is. And then the ones that do tell like it is, some of them even ask questions like, hey, y'all more versed in this than me. Let me know what y'all thoughts and stuff is, man. Like, I love those shows. You can tell the ones that want to whine and complain. There's other places you can go whine and complain. Hell, start y'all own podcast and call it the Whiny Bears. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of that. Let these men get this team the way that it should be. Kevin Warren, Ryan Poles, they could be upset about certain things, but give them a chance to get it the right way because now it's starting to look like they're doing that. Man, I'm just tired of it. When I say Chi-Town up, bear down, that's exactly what I mean. Chi-Town up, bear down.
Listen, that rant was really directed at the people that you meant. Only people that switch their opinion and their complaints when they just want to complain about whatever's going on with the team at that time. And it's literally juxtaposed to what their previous opinion was. There's so many people that contradict their own opinions day to day on here just because they want to complain and bitch. And that's the thing where it comes down to, like, you can have legitimate criticism. You can have a legitimate conversation on where this team has failed at. Absolutely. But when I notice you just switch it based off whatever and it's directly against something that you said prior, at that point, I don't respect you no more. Right? I just don't respect it anymore. And that's not to say that people's opinions can't change. But when you don't say, hey, yeah, I thought that this guy was going to be the guy. Guess what? I was wrong, and it was a wrong decision. And they don't do that. It's, oh my God, we should have never signed Nate Davis. I was all against the Nate Davis, and I go and look at your comments, and you were one of the people in the video when Nate Davis got signed. I was like, yeah, this is really going to. It's like, what? That's the thing, and I think we live in a world where it's so take-based, where people can't just say, hey, I thought this. I was fucking wrong on it, and it ended up being the wrong decision. I thought it was right. Like, put yourself also in that, because everybody wants to have this view like, oh, I just know it all, and you're not. You don't, because I see you guys contradict yourselves. And then after I brought it up in the video, the funniest thing was seeing people go back and delete some of their older comments. I got the screenshots, y'all. I told y'all I'm petty. But yeah, and so that's really what that rant was directed at, and this is always going to be the safe place for Bears fans. So it is what it is there. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following the show at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that's thanks to you lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.